Hello everyone out there, this is HK Fanatic. In this clip I'm going to do a review of the 12th Doctors Sonic screwdriver, single button version. I'm refilming it because the last time I had it was a little out of focus and you couldn't see the details as well. I had the lens set wrong. Okay, as you can see, this is a 12th single button sonic screwdriver, and we'll get into the reasons why they call it that here in just a moment. Of course, I have it here next to the 11ths, and as already you can see by looking, there are distinct detail differences already. First of all, the hinge capped rear door, which has the activation switch to enable the screwdriver to, or enable the operator to activate the LED when it's extended. But since I removed the actual spring that allows it to extend on its own, you have to flick it out manually, and now that button is not functional, so I super glued the actual cap shut. So you have to hold on this button here to get it to work. Physically they're very similar. You can't really see any differences, except for when you compare the two together, you can see that the texturing is a lot rougher on the 11th than it is on the actual 12th Doctors. It's more realistic looking, I think, and the button is further to the back and it's a little more pronounced. It sits up a little taller as well, so and the stitching pattern, as you can see, there's another big difference. The stitching pattern is much better, I think, more realistic looking, and overall it gives this girdle section here, I call it, the leather, simulated leather section, a much more realistic feel and look. The activation button though works the same, and I have removed the spring from this version, but first I will tell you that in order to do so, you're going to have a difficult time because it is very hard to get that spring housing, the spring housing and the spring support removed. Sorry about that. But I did get it out. So now, in order to operate it, first just operating the button does open the prongs, but you have to flick it out. But in the extended position now, you simply use the button. And you can access all the same sound effects. I have noticed though that in the extended position, operation of the button is a little more touchy. As you can see, it's not perfection. And if it walks back a little bit, the button doesn't work. It has to be fully extended. So you make sure the momentum extends the actual section out as far as it'll go. But in the closed position, you can hear very definitive click positions, which you really didn't hear with the 11ths. Not as much, I don't think. I can't feel the click as much as I can. So, cosmetic differences. Okay, and of course, yes, in the background here is the 11th Doctor's Universal Remote Sonic Screwdriver. Just so we could look at the actual copper sections compared to the plastic props, or plastic toy versions, I should say. You could still call it a prop if you're using it for a one of your own versions of a Doctor Who video adventure, however you want to do it. The finish of the actual metallic parts on the 11ths, full thumbs up. The simulated metal paint is very, very reflective and looks good. And the brightness of the LED, well, there's a difference there, as you see for yourself right here. That's the 11ths. This is the 12ths. A lot brighter. The light projected, you can see it just barely makes a green film, whereas the 12ths, a pretty good bright, a pretty bright pattern is projected. Let's take a look here at the how much this one projects. Just a bit brighter, but the actual finish on the LED is more realistic to the actual prop used in the show. So the big question is laying out $28 to buy another essentially similar version to the 11th Doctor's Sonic screwdriver if you already have it, worth paying? Yes, because A, the switch functionality is much better. The blasted cap is gone and actually has the actual realistic looking end cap, which I think makes it worth getting. The only objection I have is on some of the actual finishing is you can see that the paint was not as well done on this version. You can see a little overspray on the simulated leather section, which you really don't see on the 11ths, but since they're supposed to be the same screwdriver anyway. The brass sections are a little better done. Simulated brass, or not brass, what the hell am I saying? The simulated copper looks a little better on the 12ths, but the actual metallic sections have a clear coat sprayed on them. You can see it when you hold it at just the right angle that it's a clear coat over the metallic paint. Whereas the 11ths, no, you just have the actual metallic paint itself, and it gives it a more metallic looking realistic finish to it. And you can switch them. This one will fit exactly, the 11ths will fit, mechanism will fit exactly on the 12ths, but you're not going to have that brighter LED. So me, I would rather have the brighter LED. So, again, in my opinion, again, a quick look at the packaging. Nothing very dramatic about it. It says, of course, BBC Doctor Who, the 12th Doctor Sonic screwdriver, single button version, spring-loaded extending action, which, of course, I went through the trouble of deactivating and removing the spring myself because I would rather flick it out myself. Legal garb and battery replacement and proper disposition of the cells when you replace them. And of course, underground toys, yes. The background picture is nothing dramatic, it's just a pattern of lights. I think it's supposed to be the inside of the TARDIS, but I'm not positive. And then there's some splayed light patterns there that seem to be just like light shining, so it's just something they threw together real quick. All the other BBC logos and everything are on the very top with www.character/online/couk, and the rest of the legal garb at the bottom, and instructions at the very bottom. When you pull out the entire thing, the one I did find, it was very difficult to get the screwdriver out of the actual setting inside. You have to peel it out to the side and it pops out rather violently, so be prepared for that. But other than that, it's essentially the same size, dimensions to the 11th Doctor's Sonic screwdriver. I don't have it around. I'll have to go outside and see if I can find it. I think I have it stored in a plastic container, but I'll have to see where I put it. So, not much of a thumbs up for the actual packaging. They could have put a picture in the back which showed more detail. Other than saying it's the 12th Doctors, they really just kind of threw it out there. It was just put together really quick. So again, you can be the judge. You're not buying it for the packaging, you're buying it for the actual Sonic screwdriver, I hope. So anyway, again, I think it's worth laying down the $28, $29, whatever it is, depending on which price check you get, or if you get it from Amazon, and then waiting a couple of days for it to come in the mail. I think it's very worth it. So, Until the next clip, this is HK Fanatic. Out.